In August 1997, a Category 12 typhoon hit Sanmen County in eastern China's Zhejiang province. It was believed to have been the strongest typhoon in 220 years. After that, no crops could be grown on the salt-licked land. Direct economic losses reached more than 2.2 billion yuan, surpassing the then annual Sanmen County's GDP of around 1.4 billion yuan. People were desperate, but out of the depths of misfortune comes bliss. This is what Sanmen looks like 25 years later. More than 16,000 hectares of aquatic ponds, with an annual output of more than 300,000 tons, driving the county's GDP to nearly 32 billion yuan. Salmon small seafood was selected as one of the first cases of common prosperity in Zhejiang. Local people have found their wealth code, the tidal flat. I'm now standing at the tidal flat of Sanmen County in Taizhou in Zhejiang province. It is a coastal county circled by sea on three sides, and the coastline here is 227 kilometers, including 14,000 hectares of a tidal flat. Of course, part of the tidal flat has become the crab ponds here. And the tidal flat gives the county ample small seafood supplies, such as the blue crabs, oysters, the razor clams, octopus, etc. Hence the nickname, the small seafood kitchen of the Yangtze River Delta. Mr. Chen starts his day at around 4 in the morning, working alone on a very small raft catching crabs in his 3 hectares of crab ponds. I tried. It's not an easy job. But he's happy because he can make more than 500,000 yuan, that's over $69,000 each year. Life has made a dramatic leap. It's hard to imagine how desperate he was in 1997 when the typhoon took almost everything away from him. He was one of the 325 people who pressed their fingerprints in despair on the agreement of transforming from planting to aquaculture the village's plan for survival, which is known as Taotou model.
At that time, our whole village was submerged. We risked raising the small seafood. Now it's worth it. We all have cars and houses now.
The local government transformed the originally extensive Taotou model to a sophisticated and scientific one.
It is to build an ecological community for fishery. The community includes from research and breeding to factory farming as well as processing. We have also established the China Sanmen Mud Crab Aquaculture Technique Research Institute.
Dr. Shi Ce is an associate professor in marine science in Ningbo University and a member of that institute. He loves eating crabs. Every 4 or 5 days, he drives 1.5 hours to Sanmen to share his knowledge and do field research.
We also regularly give farmers some training, such as seedling germplasm, water quality control, and compound feed, etc. This is supported by data.
Taste of the crabs matters a lot too.
We can control this by changing some factors. For example, by changing the composition of its feed and then changing some water quality, it can be improved. So it is not only an increase of number, but also an increase of value.
Dr. Shi has also been promoting the idea of using artificial fodder instead of wild fish and shrimps to protect the local ecosystem. He has also been experimenting on raising crabs in rice fields, which could prove a boost to the ecology.
The crabs will ingest some of the rice fields, such as tiny organisms, which will influence the quality of the rice. It forms a small ecological environment.
Apart from the scientific approach, the local government implemented many plans to promote Sanmen small seafood, especially the crabs, by holding a series of events to make salmon crabs a signature product of the county.
The government has held the Chinese Mud Crab Festival, and each session was a brand new display of the county.
Their plan was to promote the crabs first and then drive the development of small seafood and other industries. And it worked. Tourism income in 2020 reached nearly 6.4 billion yuan. Mr. Li and his wife were the first beneficiaries. This couple has been running the restaurant for a decade. In their 20 years in the local tourism industry, they witnessed the economic transformation of Sanmen County.
In the past, tourists came from nearby places, but now we have many tourists from other provinces thanks to the crab festivals.
The pandemic was a blow to their business, but they still make a fine living. During our interview, the wife had to leave to receive a tourist group. They told me that this group ordered salmon crabs, as many other tourists do. The crabs and the whole small seafood industry not only fill the local people's pockets, the methods have been introduced to other countries to benefit the people there. Lin Houyi, the head of Taotou village, witnessed the moment his fellow villagers affixed their fingerprints to the new livelihood strategy. And also the next 20 years, the small seafood industry boomed. In 2016, on behalf of the Taotou village, he rented more than 2,000 hectares of land in Malaysia to farm mud crabs with an estimated sales value of 100 million yuan.
We ship to Malaysia in summer when the seedlings are abundant. In winter, after raising it successfully, it will be shipped back to China. In winter, the production of mud crabs in China is very small, which can just make up for the demand of domestic market.
As the head of the village, he doesn't want to see anyone left behind. He has a big plan for every family in the village. A villa for each household. Now that plan is half complete.
After getting rich by raising small seafood, we put more efforts on changing our community. In 2014, I proposed an idea, Xiaokang Building. This is our first batch of Xiaokang buildings. I strive to make everyone in our village reach Xiaokang after 1 or 2 5-year plans.
The house of Mr. Chen, the crab farmer, is one of the first batch. From being reduced to poverty by sea 25 years ago, to making a huge profit from it today, he optimizes the transformation of salmon. In ancient times, when people were not able to fish in the deep sea, they had to use their bare hands or very simple tools to collect shellfish from the tidal plat. It's called Tao Xiao Hai in Chinese, meaning chasing the sea for the small seafood. But now, the small seafood has made its way to the platter on the other side of the ocean. Local businesses and people's minds have all gone beyond the sea as well. In the past 2 decades, an increasingly comprehensive and sophisticated economic development model has changed the ancient fishing villages and the people. They're still chasing the sea, but never again being chased by life. Dongning, Sanmen County, Taizhou, Zhejiang Province.